Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today it's going to be another Fix It video. Another video where I try to repair something with still limited skills. I am getting better than I was months ago, but there's still huge gaps in my understanding of most things, so I find most things a challenge. Right, so this one is a little bit different. In here we should have an Xbox One S, but I didn't actually buy this one. I was sent this by a guy called Jamie, and let's just unpack it. Hold on. Right, okay. So this is the original drive. Right, let me tell you what he's put. Basically, yeah, he contacted me on email and he asked me if I wanted to take a look at his Xbox One S. Now, I will say I don't normally do that. I'm doing it for this particular video, but please don't send me your stuff because then I'm going to feel bad if I can't fix it. And if you watch my videos, you will realise that a good, maybe not half of them, but a lot of them I don't end up fixing, so I kind of don't want that disappointment. So that's why I prefer to buy things myself, because then the only person I'm disappointing is myself. And remember, I make money on the YouTube videos anyway, so even if I can't fix it, I'm still not out of pocket. While if people send me stuff to fix and I can't fix it, I'm going to then feel a little bit guilty that maybe I didn't do a good enough job. So that's why I don't normally do that, but in this instance I have done it. So his name's Jamie, and basically he put down that he's reformatted the hard drive with the Xbox tool, and then he said he replaced the disk drive, then he got another error code, so he just gave up. So basically he's put here that this is the original drive. It's possibly faulty, so I believe the error code said that there was a fault with the disk drive. Now, I think when you replace these that you also have to replace a part of the inside as well, because that's tied to the main motherboard, but I could be wrong. Alright, let's see what else we got here. Alright, so here we have it. Right, looks in good condition.
I don't know that one.
That's Alexa talking to me in the background. Right, okay, so
There is no Alexa call.
better stop saying her name. Right, okay, so that's it. Let's plug this in to a TV and see what error codes it's coming up with. And then, well actually I think first things first, I better just take the bottom off it and just have a quick look on the inside just to make sure if everything's kind of in place before I start messing around with it. Now I'm just taking it apart just purely to make sure that everything is connected up, because obviously I haven't been in this before and I just want to make sure that it is going to be safe to turn on. Now if I can get this working, obviously I will send it back to Jamie, but if I can't get it working, he's under no illusion that you know, he knows that there's a very good chance I can't get this fixed. So I don't think he's going to be bothered if I think he just wants to see if it is fixable on the video. But of course, if I can get it working, then I'll happily send it back. It looks really clean. This would be the sort of one that you'd like to get on eBay. If you're wondering what that little orange circle is there for, that's if the disc ever gets stuck inside, then you can insert a long thin, like very small Allen key, like a hex key, or a very thin strong needle, and it will actually push the disc out. So let's say if this system completely died on you and you had to send it away or you were selling it, you can still get your disc out by just inserting it through the holes here and getting the pin to go through the middle of this orange circle here, and it will force the disc out. There you go, you can actually see the hole there. Right, so it looks like we're missing a few screws that holds the hard drive in place. I think there should be, yeah, I'm pretty sure there should be some screws here to stop this wobbling around the place. But maybe the hard drive is faulty anyway. I think there should be screws there. It's amazing how you forget. Obviously if you're doing these all the time, then you would remember. Right, there's one little screw there. Yeah, there should be 4 screws here. It's been held in with 1. But then, should it really matter if it's in place there, as long as people ain't wobbling it around the place and throwing it around? I'm pretty sure it should be okay. Also, it looks like we're just missing one of these little rubber things here on this bit here. Right, okay, but that's definitely in place there. That all looks alright. You might be able to buy them anyway. That's connected. Well, it certainly looks safe to turn on anyway, so let's turn it on and see what happens. Right, I haven't put it back together properly because obviously I'm going to be needing to take it apart again. So let's connect this up to a TV and now let's actually see what it is doing. Okay, so we've got it set up now. I haven't turned it on yet. Let's do it live on the video. Right, I'm on the correct HDMI port. Let's turn it on. Okay, that's good. And I've got my controller here to sync it up. Right, so it's displaying. Okay, step 3 of 3. Download complete. Verification complete. Something went wrong. System error E100. Right, okay, so I know when you do put a new hard drive in here, there is quite a long process that you have to go through. Andrew Paul's got a really good video on it, so when I did it before I just copied it step by step. Let's see if we can sync up the controller. Yeah, so that's synced up. There we go. Yeah, and you can just use a D-pad. Right, let's go to restart this Xbox and see what happens. I'm going to get a pen and paper to write down these error codes. Right, okay, so it looks like it's not letting me restart the Xbox. So it's saying E100, so I need to find out what error code that is. Just going to scribble down the rest of it as well. So what I'll do is I'll Google the E100 error code and see what it says. So the E100 error basically means that it's a problem when you try to update your console. Now remember, I haven't got all the information from Jamie, the steps that were taken. I don't actually know what happened to begin with. Maybe the Xbox One S was dropped, in which case then the hard drive might be faulty. So I know he said he reformatted the hard drive, but he didn't say he changed it over. So maybe it might need a new hard drive. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to reset this Xbox, because that's what the Xbox website tells you to do. So I'm going to go down to Troubleshoot. Reset this Xbox. I'm going to go to Keep Games and Apps, because this is one of the solutions that they tell you to do. And if this doesn't work, I've got to put the software onto a little USB stick and then do it on my PC and then put it from there to here. If that doesn't work, I think it might well be worth, let's just see what it does now. I think it might well be worth then, right, so that's obviously not working. I'm going to try doing the software onto the little USB drive. And if that doesn't work, I think it might need a new hard drive. I think that would probably be a good one, or possibly I could try to reformat this one and then see if it works. Then if it doesn't work, maybe it needs a new hard drive. So let me get that PC side of it set up. So while it's downloading to my PC, this is the website that I'm on. So all you got to do is just Google E100 Xbox and it will bring up this page here. And then, for example, it says here, go to Xbox One System Update Solution, and it's just going to kind of talk you through page by page. So basically you just need to copy what it tells you to do, so it's quite straightforward. Right, so it says here I need to troubleshoot a system update error. which one are you updating? So I'm going to do the yes. And I'm getting an error message, and then it's going to ask you which one. Which error messages are you getting? Something went wrong. And here we go, E100. If something went wrong, blah blah blah. Did this correct your no? This is what I've just done now about reset the Xbox. And now I'm on this page here, so perform an offline system update. And basically that's the information there, so you can pause it and read that. You need to do your little drive to NTFC. So at the moment mine was on FAT32 because the last thing it was used on was a PlayStation 4. And then you just need to tap this here, and then it's going to ask you, where you want to download this to, etc. And then you need to unzip it and then pop it onto your USB little stick. And then we're going to be plugging that into the Xbox and see if it works that way. I'll be honest with you, I don't think it will, but we'll see. I think it might be a problem with the hard drive, but that's just a guess. So I followed the instructions on the Xbox website, and I now have the software downloaded onto here. So this will allow me to update the Xbox offline. So let's see if this works. I'm going to plug it into a USB port. And now, when I go to troubleshoot, it should now come up with offline system update. You can see now that it gives me the option to do that, while beforehand it was all blanked out. So that's what I'm going to do now. Right, it says preparing console. I'm just going to let this whir right the way through, and we'll probably see that it will get stuck on 58% again, but you never know. It might work. And then if we do get this side of it working, we then got to worry about the actual disk drive itself, because obviously it's been swapped over, and I'm not sure if the internals of this have been swapped over or not. Maybe I could just put this one back in and it might all be working, because it says this is the original drive. It's possibly faulty, so Jamie's not 100% sure. There we go. So what happens is, when it gets to the applying update, it turns itself off. Let's just see if it's going to turn itself back on again. Maybe this is all part of it. See, I have done this before, but it's amazing how quick you forget. I did it before on the original Xbox One. So now it's going to, yeah, so it's not allowing it to apply the update. So you can see there it did all that, but at 58% it's going to apply the update, and then it's failing. Right, so if we have a look here now, so basically back to this little troubleshooter on the Xbox website, so it didn't work. So let's go to there, and now it says restore your console to factory settings. If resetting your console does not correct your startup error, you can use the Xbox startup troubleshooter to completely restore your console to factory settings. So it's saying that basically you will lose all, it erases all the accounts, etc, etc. Right, so I mean, if we've got to change out the hard drive, we're going to lose everything anyway. So let's go to Troubleshooter. And let's go to reset this Xbox. And let's go to remove everything. And see if that works. No, so it's coming back to here again. There we go, something went wrong. Right, okay, so let's go back to this. We have to say, did it work? And the answer is no. And now it just comes up with your console needs to be repaired. Unfortunately, it looks like your console will need to be repaired to correct this startup error. To submit a repair request, visit device support. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find Andrew Paul's video, and I'm going to put the software back onto the hard drive again using one of these little external caddies. You know, these little ones that you buy from places like eBay and Amazon for about £5. So I'm going to basically put the hard drive onto here and then get the software onto here from my PC, and then I'm going to put it back into the Xbox. If that doesn't work, I think it's going to need a new hard drive. Now there's no point in me showing you how to do this because it's a really long process and Andrew Paul's already done a brilliant video on it. So let me show you his video. I will link to it in the description as well, and then you can just copy that because it's a long process. From memory it takes about 45 minutes. Let me just show you his video. So this is the video I'm going to be copying. It's by Andrew Paul and it's replace upgrade Xbox One hard drive using Windows. Fix error 101, 102, blah blah blah. It doesn't say about error E100, but I'm thinking it has to be something to do with the hard drive. Unless it's a bad connection or something. Could be that. But anyway, this is what I'm going to do, and hopefully then, if there was some kind of like problem with the software, this will fix it. If there's a problem with the hard drive, let's say if there's a bad sector, then I'm going to have a look at this video that he's done here. So again, it's Andrew Paul again, and this one says Xbox One black screen, intermittent green screen of death, recovery, diagnosis and repair. Now I haven't watched this one all the way through yet, but I believe in this one he basically scans the hard drive and then it comes up with the bad sectors, and then I presume you can kind of like partition them off so it doesn't use it. If that doesn't work, then I think it will need an actual hard drive itself. But that's what I'm going to be working on now. Now there's no point in me doing this because these videos are perfect and he fully knows what he's talking about while I don't, so you might as well just copy him because it will make a lot more sense than copying me. So let's pop this hard drive out of here. Remember, when you do it you're going to have more screws than this. There was only one holding this one in. So now we're going to unclip it from here. I just want to make sure that the connections look okay. Yeah, which they do, and down here just unplug them. Well, they're in nice and firmly. Yeah, it'd be different if there was loads of corrosion on stuff on that, but there's not, is there? So I don't think there's anything wrong with the connections here. I think it's going to turn out to be a bad hard drive. Right, so now we got this, but we need to be able to plug this into the PC, and obviously we can't do that. Hence the reason you need to get yourself one of these. So now you see this will terminate. This is a USB 3 one. You can also get USB 2 ones. They're very cheap. Now I'm going to be plugging this into here like that way around. There we go. And now I will be able to use this in the PC. I'm not going to clip it shut, I'm just going to leave it like that out of harm's way. So all I'm going to do now is copy that video. It's an hour long, so you can see it's going to take quite some time to do this. Okay, so about 45 minutes have passed and I copied Andrew Paul's video to the T. Every single thing he did, I did exactly the same. So it all went smoothly. So now let's see what happens when we put this into here. Remember, I don't know if this is going to fix it or not, but at least it will give me a better idea of what's going on. Okay, so what I have to do is I have to put the USB stick in the port at the front, and I'm going to hit the sync button and the eject button and then the power button. I need to listen out for 3 beeps. It's them 2. 1 beep. 2 beeps. There we go, and now it should get a 3rd beep. Excellent. Now I just need to leave it do its thing. Okay, so that automatically brings up this bit here. So I'm just going to let it go all the way through, and this time I want to see if it gets past the verify and update onto apply and update, because remember before it failed when it got to apply and update. So I'm just going to let it work its magic now and see if it does anything. If not, then what I might do is I might put this back into it, see if it changes anything, and then if that doesn't make any difference, then I'll probably have to take the hard drive out and have to see if I can do a check for it with bad sectors on that other video that I showed you earlier. Right, it's nearly there at the 58%. Let's see if it fails. I can see this counting up here, 95, 96. So that's nearly at 100%. Then it's going to turn itself off. Right, let's see what happens now when it comes back on. Right, remember this is where it failed last time. No, it's failed again. Right, okay, I think I'm going to swap out the disk drives just in case. Maybe if it doesn't recognise a disk drive, maybe because if this is the original one here, and I don't know whether he changed the board over or not on the inside, but maybe if it doesn't recognise the board, then it doesn't let it get past a certain stage. So let me try and do that now. Go to turn off. Disconnect the power. I've never done one of these before. It looks like you just undo this big bolt here. Okay, let's take these out first of all. Okay, so they're clipped back in. Put these back on the board. That's back in okay. Yep, buttons feel okay. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing again now. Plug that into the front. HDMI in. Power in. Hold down these two. Sync and eject. And listen for 3 beeps. Okay, that was the second one. There we go. Took longer that time. Maybe because of the Blu-ray drive or something, I'm not sure. Well, I'm just going to let that whir through again and let's see if that can get through to the apply and update part. We're nearly there, 99%. Let's see what happens this time. Yes, it's doing it. Apply and update, 6%. It didn't do that before. So, okay, there still might be a fault with the Blu-ray drive because obviously Jamie changed it before. But if he didn't change, I mean, I don't know if he has or not, but if he didn't change the card on the inside, then maybe that's why it wasn't applying the update, because this is a kind of illegal drive, so to speak. You know, the Xbox wants to see the motherboard in here the same as it's married to the motherboard in the Xbox. Well, that's what I've heard anyway. And now that I've changed it out, look, it's coming up. So maybe this is the problem. So if we get it all working, if we find that the Blu-ray drive is not working, then maybe I can take this apart and have a look at the drive in the board in here and take it out and put it in that one there. Well, sorry, no, what am I on about? Take the board out of the one in there because that's the original one and put it in this one here because this is the replacement one. Or there might be nothing wrong with the Blu-ray drive. That's really good news. I think Steve from Tronics Fix has done a video on changing out the boards in here. I'm pretty sure it was on the Xbox, so I can search for that. Right, it's doing something. There we go, it's there. Let's put a bit of volume on this. So I'm thinking now I'll have to do an update. Yeah, so volume's working. Right, checking your connection. Let's plug in an Ethernet port. Right, use a wired cable. So now it's going to do another update, I presume, to the latest one. Your console is connected to the internet. Checking your connection. Where do you live? It's time to update. This is great news. Obviously we need to double check the disk and everything once it's working. Right, there we go. You can see now that it is working. So let's put a disk in and see if there is a problem with the actual drive itself. See if it takes it. Okay, well it's taken it. Now let's see if it's going to read it. Sounds like it is. There we go, Minecraft, it's here. Installation started. Right, well, we'll let this load up and I think that might be it. Job done. I just need to put it all back together. Okay, it has downloaded. Okay, so just make sure the actual game itself is working. Then I need to put this back together. Yeah, that's working. Right, okay, so happy with that. Let's just double check the settings, put it in 1080p. Yeah, that works, 1080p at 60 Hz. Well, I'm going to put it back to 720p because that's how it was. Maybe Jamie's TV is only 720p, so I'm going to leave it in 720p. I just wanted to check that it can do 1080p. Right, this is brilliant. So I'm going to put it all back together now and email him with the good news. Cross this one out here so it doesn't get confused. This is the new drive. There we go, it's all clipped back together nicely. Doesn't need a clean because it's already nice and clean. So let's give it one last boot up and then I can take my disc out and then I can email Jamie. And now remember I need to reset this Xbox because it's got all my info on it now. go to settings and system. Let's go to reset console and let's reset and remove everything. So that has now been reset, so I'm just going to hold down this power button here because I've got no way of actually closing it down from the controller. If you have a look now when it syncs up, if I was to hold this down, it doesn't give me the option to go to turn off console. Yeah, nothing's highlighting apart from close, magnify or narrator. So what I'm going to do is just hold down the power button. There we go, and now when he turns it on, he can start up from that bit there. So really pleased with this video. All that needed to happen was we just had to take out the new Blu-ray drive and put in the original one, because I'm thinking the board inside wasn't swapped over. And then we had to take out the hard drive and we had to completely wipe it, so I deleted everything off the hard drive and then just put all the information back onto it again using the amazingly good video by Andrew Paul. You just got to copy it step by step. He holds your hand right the way through it. And now it's working again. So the first time it didn't work because we had the old Blu-ray drive in it, so obviously when it was going to apply the update it must do some sort of security check around the place, and it recognised that that wasn't a proper drive for it. But then when we put the original one back in, it booted up straight away, tested again, working fine. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, this is now working. Obviously if there's other things that Jamie hasn't told me about, there could be other issues with it as well. I didn't check the Wi-Fi, I haven't checked it on 4K, but definitely 720p works, 1080p works, and the wired Ethernet works. So I'm thinking that this is all going to be working well again. So hopefully you enjoyed it. I did with this one. So if you did, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe for more trying to fix videos. Take care, bye now.